Hi, this is Mark from Altcoin Buzz, and today we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and a couple of the coins that you guys asked about. I want to encourage you to leave in the comments below the coins that you'd like us to look at on top of Bitcoin, and you might find some really good coins that we look at from some of the suggestions that you guys give. There's been times that I look at charts and go, I might want to follow this coin a little closer. This chart's looking pretty good. So please leave those coins below, and again, I'll try and get to as many of them as I can. All right, so here we are. Bitcoin USD one-day chart. Healthy consolidation going on the last few days. This has been very nice progressive price action. This is very healthy consolidation. Could even call it a bull flag as we consolidate because we're coming into it from an upward trend. We've been able to hold this critical point of control that we talked about at $6,700. We tapped into it with a wick not too like a few days back, and we were able to use that as support. We do still have this heavy resistance, and we'll look at it further, but we still have this heavy resistance at about $7,200. That is a critical area for us to get above. I don't know that it will happen over the weekend. We've got a 3-day weekend here in the United States. Not that we control this market, but we do have a lot of traders that will theoretically be taking the long weekend off and not getting back into the market until Tuesday. While we had a nice candle over the weekend last weekend, don't know that we'll see that this weekend. We may just trade in this zone that we've got going on right now between this support of $6,700, $6,800 and $7,200, $7,300. And that's just fine. If we look at where that resistance is showing up on the Ichimoku cloud, what we've got is this 21-day moving average, but above it is our 50-day, and it looks like that is going to be that's kind of the zone of resistance that we've got in play. But our real resistance comes in at the 100-day moving average. This is our 100-day exponential moving average, and you can see we've been fighting against that moving average here for the last week or so. This zone is, you can see there's a lot of pressure building up here. This is going to be whether or not we can get a nice little run back up to start trying to test this $8,500. If we can get above here and find some support, then going back and trying to test this $8,500 should be, in theory, the next level. No holds barred. We're on our way to trying to beat that again. Yes, we'll have some other resistance that we're going to come across right in here, but this would be a very key place to get above. We've got a 100-day moving average, a 50-day moving average, and our Ichimoku cloud all built up here with resistance. So that is a strong resistance area. If we can break through it, all things looking pretty positive. I see no reason if we get out of this weekend without closing below this $6,700 critical hold point, why we can't do that at the beginning of the week next week. Now, if we dip below here over the weekend, because we're going to have some low volume, which can cause volatility in the price action, am I concerned? Not exactly, because remember, when we talk about springs, sometimes we test below the support and then come back up to retest that support. So I really want to see what kind of conviction there is. If it comes against heavy volume, then I'm concerned. If it comes against low volume, I'm not quite as concerned. If we broke below this 21-day moving average sometime over the weekend, that would be very concerning. $6,500 below, even touching with a wick at $6,500 would be concerning. Then I'd be watching Bitcoin very closely on an hourly chart, probably, to see what's happening. But right now, this is looking okay for us. Okay, let's take a look at Zilliqa. Let's take a look at Zill. We had this descending triangle much like we have in Bitcoin going on. This is exactly what we don't want to see happen with Bitcoin, where you come into this descending triangle, you hit your head against that resistance a couple times, and then you actually break through the base. And that's what we had happen here. You found a new low on Zilliqa back at the 2.5 cent, 3 cent range in that area. We came back up. This is now established as resistance for us at 4.5 cents, and you're trying to find that as your support level. But the support that it's trying to find right now is on very low volume. And with Bitcoin consolidating right now, it's not uncommon to see the other altcoins follow. So at this point, this is going to follow where Bitcoin goes. If we see a little bit of a reaction to Bitcoin to the downside, you most likely will see this go to the negative as well. And then you will not find your support there. So now that we've broken through that descending triangle no longer comes into play, right? We've got this new low here. We had a prior low over here. We're still in a descending chart pattern. And if Zilliqa can't find its support here, then you're looking for potential new lows. Now, if there were any positive to where Zilliqa sits right now, would be where the recent price action has been. And since you're coming up into this, what appears to be the start of a flag and you're coming into it from an uptrend, this could be a nice little bull flag for you in here with a break up. If that's the case, the break up, then you look for the 5.5 cent range as your area of resistance, the next area of resistance. Let's take a look and see where that lines up on your moving averages. If we add in the 21 day, which is this green, and Zilliqa's trying to find its support there right now. We've added in a 50 day, the orange, and we've added in the 100 day in the red. Zilliqa's trying to find its support there. It looks like it may be establishing support there with this potential bull flag here. Then it looks like, again, you'll be testing right at that 50-day moving average of 5 cents, and it's right in here, 5 to 5.5, 6 cents that you'd be your next threshold that you'd be looking for. A breakdown from this support at about 4.5 cents has your target, your first target, sitting back here as a potential level of support at 3.5 cents. So those are kind of the areas that you'll be watching for. And again, Zilliqa most likely will follow the path of Bitcoin. If we see some more strength come into the market with Bitcoin going on the rise, we could see Zilliqa going back up and responding along with it. If Bitcoin starts to respond to the downside, you may see Zilliqa starts responding down to the downside as well and testing that 3.5 cent area for support. Okay, if we take a look at Eternity, we had the same kind of thing happen with Eternity. We had this descending triangle back here with a base down in here, and we broke through that to the downside. So now this descending triangle has no play. It's already been validated and confirmed. Eternity went down, found its low at 90 cents, and now is trying to react to that. The resistance is right around $1.20. The thing about this pattern that has me concerned is as you come into a descending triangle like this, even though this is a ascending triangle or an ascending wedge, but you're coming in from a downtrend, you typically would have a breakout to the downside. So now you're going to be looking to see if you can find support back at the 90 cent area again, or whether you break through that and continue down into this new low of around 60 cents. You probably have a stop somewhere in between there before you hit that 60 cents, probably kind of halfway in between at about 75, because if we drew another trend line down below the prior swing lows, somewhere in that range would be where you'd probably test first before getting down to that 60 cent range if it was going to continue down. So does this kind of pattern always happen where it breaks to the downside? No, that's just that's just what we'd be looking for to happen first. If it does break to the upside, then you're going to want to see it establish a support at 120 so that it can start trying to test the $1.60 range, which will be your next resistance area. So that's Eternity for you. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for today. Leave your comments below on some of the altcoins that you'd like us to look at. Sorry I couldn't get to more, but that'll give you something to start with over the weekend. Also, make sure that you enter that contest that we're doing with Coingecko.com to try and win yourself those great prizes. And if you wouldn't mind, please give a like button to this video so it can get shared with some more people. Also, hit that subscribe button and the bell to make sure you get those alerts when these videos pop up. Until next time, may all your trades be good ones.